Welcome to the show this evening. Tonight's guest, we have a returned citizen that's come home from incarceration, and she's doing wonderful things in the community. She's being successful as whatever she touches. We want to welcome Ms. Kim Carter to the show. Ms. Kim Carter, welcome to the show, sister.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, and it's always a pleasure to be sitting here across to somebody doing great work like yourself, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now you were formerly incarcerated.
Sure. So, as a matter of fact, today, April the 17th, 1994, I was leaving out of those gates out of CIW. And who would have thought, 24 years ago, that today I would be sitting here across from you and have becoming a product of a social change, right? And not be recycled in and out of that institution, but be able to be on the outside and help people navigate the society of reentry and help dismantle some of those prison industrial complex webs that they got out trying to snatch up all our kids and stuff,
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, my sister. That's what I'm talking. Now look. Let me get straight to the meat of things. What do you do today? What organizations are you behind today?
Okay, so I am the founder and executive director of Time for Change Foundation, and what we do is we help homeless women and children reunify with their children. We provide housing and supportive services. On top of that, we actually develop affordable housing, and over the past 16 years, we have been instrumental in helping people come from incarceration and remain in the community, reorganize with their families, and reestablish their children in a safe and sound model. We teach people how to advocate, and we went from breaking laws to making laws. So we developed a group of women and leaders to use their own voice to go out and fight for those policies that unjustly target them and their families. So that's why I say we went from breaking laws to making laws, because fortunately we were a part of the Ban the Box movement. Time for Change Foundation was one of the co-sponsors of that legislation. And what that did was remove the question that asks you, have you ever been convicted of a felony, off of all employment applications, both state, federal, and private employers, because at the end of the day, my brother, does it matter if I ever been had a formerly? Does it really matter if I've ever had a felony conviction? If I'm out here trying to get my family together, pay for my rent, I'm trying to move forward in society. So when that question was on the application, what it did was send people directly back into the jailhouse.
It did. Now let me ask you: is that in place today?
Yep, it started as of January 2018. The governor signed the law, and so today is actively. Fair Chance, AB 1008. It was carried by MacArthur, a policymaker, and Eloise Reyes, and Legal Services with Prisoner Children, All of Us or None, Time for Change Foundation, National Employment Law Project. We all worked to get that bill shepherded to the governor's desk. And thank you, Mr. Jerry Brown, for signing that bill.
Yeah, you're right. Now, if I go to get an application today at an employer, if I get an application today, that won't be on the application.
It should not be on the application. And if it is on the application, this is where we need people to start advocating, because one more time, if we're going to have laws that's being made, but then we don't have the people following the law, I be saying, where's the police at when you need them?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Who's going to hold them accountable?
Exactly.
That's what has to happen.
That's what has to happen. That's what has to happen. And we got and people like yourself, we need in place, because we got a lot of people coming home from prison right now at large numbers. That box where it said you coming home in a pine box only. Jerry Brown and that was Pete Wilson and Gray Davis. They had it where only way you're gonna come home is in a pine box. That was across the board.
Well, we understand that so during that time period, right? They built over 20 prisons and only one university.
Exactly.
So they put that prison industrial complex had a whole lot of policy to support it with a lot of dollars. They was able to build all these institutions to house basically black and brown people who didn't have money to even afford a good lawyer. So people was taking deals and they was being packaged up. And then we seen this huge increase of women being incarcerated. So over that same time span, we've seen an 800 increase of women being incarcerated, black and brown women majority. And what happens is that our children were then targeted to be into those systems that would have them in the foster care and not with our relatives, that would have them packaged up to be the next person to go into the jailhouse. So we see how it has been systemic, which is why we got some great organizations working on the front line, trying to change those policies and go inside those systems and make them actually work for the people, because it is unjust. And we can look back at it and see like what's happening right now. There's all this money coming down for the opiate crisis, right? They're teaching people how to shoot a Naxaline and bring people back. Well, when he was out there on crack, they were just shooting us a helicopter in the battle ram.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what they were doing.
We already know.
that's
We
what he
already
was
know
doing.
they was doing.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
this is the same society and the same government. And that's why I think it's so important that formerly incarcerated people recognize your right to vote and you become civically engaged, because you are the change that you're waiting on. No one's going to come to town and save us from these policies and this systemic stuff that will still see that black and brown people will only be marginalized and disenfranchised. It's up to us to make that change.
Now, you mentioned the formerly incarcerated, the right to vote. What do you mean by that?
So people who are coming home from prison, they feel like they don't have the right to vote because they're on parole. But when you're on parole, you can't vote. But when you're on probation and you're just having a past felony conviction, you can vote. But for so many years, the miseducation about our right to vote was just, hammered in our heads from the institutions, to the point that other people was telling, other formerly incarcerated people was telling other formerly incarcerated people that they couldn't vote when it was not true. So, all of us are none, and people who are on the front lines trying to engage people with the right to vote, we're building our own political base. We're building, matter of fact, brother, there's more of us across the United States. We are a huge voting bloc that's untampered, that needs to be recognized and marshaled so that we can make the political changes that we need.
Right.
We need to have formerly incarcerated people running for office.
Right.
When
That's
you
right.
have paid your debt to society, you have the right to come back and reclaim your
part of this.
lifestyle in this
That's
community,
right. Be part
in
of
your
this.
own brand of dignity, and hold your head up while you're doing this. So
That's
that's why I'm excited, about all the fascinating things that's been happening, and seeing people like yourself, Nate Williams from Choices for Freedom, we got Malachi from Oakland, just a lot of people who are really out here in the community that's making a difference, to bring healing and peace to the community, to work with these kids, to make sure that they don't go through the pipeline that, us as adults went through. And we still working on police accountability. We working on a whole lot of things, bail reform, just changing the system, period. We've worked with AB 855, which is a law that was carried by Karen Bass. And basically, why you guys didn't even know, but when women were going to prison, first time conviction, coming home and finding out that their parental rights have been terminated.
Really?
Have been terminated. Did not have rights to their children again. They hadn't even been notified. And so, when we think back to the way this country was founded, and my ancestors like, Harriet Tubman, Phyllis Wheatley, and I know the pain they felt when they had their children sold off by the master. You know what I'm saying? Your child was just gone. Well, that's that pain and that cry, it's the same pain and cry that these women coming home from prison realizing their children are lost forever, forever. And that is cruel and unusual punishment. That is inhumane. And there has to be a voice behind that. And right now, we just see there's so many loopholes, and there's so many systems in place that keeps our families disconnected. And so that's why we have to work hard and be laser focused in. See, I'm laser focused in. My goal is to reunify women who are coming from incarceration with their children in safe and decent housing, period, right? And anything less than that is not going to suffice. So I'm out here in the Bay Area now, recently located out here, because it's still time for change. And there's women out here who are coming home who can't even afford safe and decent housing.
That's right. That's a fact. That's a fact. I just recently found out about the application for the job. I just recently found out about that. I just found out about the voting. During time coming home from prison, you can vote. I didn't even know that until recently. So people coming home from prison, we're not educated. We're still ignorant to the fact that we can vote coming home.
And that's part of the plan, because they're not talking about it on the inside. And you have a lot of groups right now that's going into county jails and really trying to make sure that people in the county jails are getting their right to vote, because they have the right to vote. If you're sitting there on bail, not convicted of anything, you are still 100% citizen, and you have the right to have your voices heard.
That's right.
Because when your voice is not heard at the ballot box, you're being raped of your constitutional rights.
That's right.
You're back to being taxation without representation.
That's right.
And we have to do something about that.
Speak, sister. Speak. That's right. You tell me that's right.
I'm serious. We came too far to go back to that state.
That's
you know,
right.
So we have to be woke. We have to be conscious. We have to be very, very conscious. We cannot afford to sleepwalk walking around here.
That's right.
And I'm so happy that people come home from prison and get back involved with the work. Right. I was just speaking last week at the UCLA conference, and people are in there getting their degrees and all that. And I applaud them for that, but I let them know, while you are up here getting your degrees, we out here holding the front line down. We out here soldiers on the front line fighting against injustices. And we hope when you get that PhD, you bring it right back to this community and help the community from which you came from.
Exactly.
And I tell people all the time, I don't got a PhD, but I got a PhD.
There you go. There you go. You do it. You do it. That's what I'm talking about. You're doing it.
And I can hire them.
That's right. And you're doing them well. You're doing it well.
And I can can give them some. I can get them PhDs some jobs.
Yeah, you're doing it well. So continue doing what you're doing because we need sisters like you in the fields. You know, we have very, very few that's putting work in. We have very few brothers that's really putting work in for the sisters. The sisters coming home from incarceration, they don't have no back. Ain't nobody backing them. And that's a shame because the brothers, we come home from prison, we got all this stuff that's happening for us. But the sisters ain't got nothing.
It goes back to that. I go back to, the oppressor and how it was set up and designed. Back in the day, women had to take care of them men. They didn't want to see their men hanging from trees like they was fruit, right? You look at today, when men go to prison, you got grandma, aunties, wife, everybody lined up in the visiting room. When she go to prison, it's like, oh, she should have knew better. They're not even lined up to go see about her. Because and then that goes back to us being so strong of a black women and having persevered and survived some of the most horrific conditions, called incarceration, that they see that we can take it. And as a result of us taking it, we, high rates of high blood pressure, sugar, diabetes, mental health, mental stress, disenfranchisement. So at the end of the day, we must support and uplift each other, which is why at Time for Change Foundation, we utilize a strength-based approach, and we work with women where they're at to build them up to where they want to be.
Right on. Well, I want to say first before we go off, because I want to bring you back on a live show. Okay, I do a live show on Channel 76 from 6:30 to 7 o'clock every other Thursday. And I want to schedule you to come back on the live show so we can have call-ins. People can call in and question what you're saying. So we want to schedule you for that. In the next few weeks, we want to schedule for that.
Okay, it sounds good to me. Before we cut off, I just want your listeners to know, you can go to www.timeforchangefoundation.org. Our phone numbers is there. Again, I'm up here in the Bay Area looking to expand the Time for Change Foundation's housing and family model. We're looking for land. We're looking for supporters. So if you believe that women have the right to reunify with their children, if you believe in human rights, that everyone should have access to safe and decent housing, then holler at me, right? Call me. I'm here.
That's right.
I'm here.
Call the sisters. The sister is reaching out for people to call, and the people that need help. Call, and if you don't need help us do something to better somebody's life. You don't have to need help. Just help us. Help somebody help themselves better their lives. Now, I want to bring on Talif Collective, because I work for Talif Collective. I run the reentry program for Talif Collective out of Fremont, California. So I want to bring up Talif Collective because we have a support circle once a month in Oakland, California, at on Broadway Street at the Oak Stop. Now, I got the poster posted on the screen here, and I like for people to come out and be part of this. We have formerly incarcerated people that come home from prison, that's been in prison 20 and 30 and 40 years, and we know how to have a relationship in prison, Saturday and Sunday. But during the week, 5 days a week, it's about trust. And then we have Saturday to come again, and then we have a visiting. And we have a vending machine. We sit on next to each other. We can't sit in front of each other, but we do that for 20 and 30 years. And then we come home after those periods of time, and then we think we can run a household. We can't run a household. We don't know how to pay a bill. So our thing is that we have to come home, get a job, and start add that money to another paycheck, which is called a second paycheck. Okay, and then we start making money and start building our relationship back with our loved ones, women and men. So right now we're talking about relationships, how to form a relationship, a stable relationship, an honest relationship, a true relationship with a man and a woman after incarceration.
And it starts with relating.
Right, exactly. So we want people to come out and be part of this. We're having a group next Wednesday from 6:30 to 7. 6:30 to 9. We got a 30-minute from 6:30 to 7. We have a meal, gonna have a dinner, and then we're gonna talk from 7 to 9 about relationships, about stuff that we don't talk about coming home from prison.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, because they got the pre-release program in prison, but they don't give you stuff that you need. So now we want.
Imagine that.
He's got something.
Imagine that. A whole funded program.
Exactly.
Called pre-release. You ain't getting what you need.
Gold thing.
That would be called misappropriation of government funding.
Of
Our
funds.
tax dollars.
Exactly.
One more time.
Exactly.
Citizens.
Exactly.
Use your civic engagement voice.
So Talif Collective, out of Fremont, California, I am the coordinator for the reentry program out of that program, and we're trying to assist brothers and sisters coming home, sisters now, I'm saying sisters, brothers and sisters coming home from prison. We have funds, we have things that you need, clothing, we have stuff that you need to have a smooth transition back in your community. So that's what we're doing at Talif Collective. So my sister, I want you to be there, okay? Because people need to hear how you came home and became successful as you have been, because we got women that's coming home and they kind of like in the background.
They need mentors and
they
guides.
need that.
Exactly.
So we want you to come out and be part of this, and God willing, we make it strong for everybody across the board.
Sounds like I wanted to be.
Right,
Thank you for what
right.
you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you for thanking me. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So we want to thank my sister Kim Carter, and Miss Carter. Before we leave, tell them something. Tell them something that they need to know that they don't know.
The change begins with you. The change begins with me. We are the change that we're waiting to see. Again, Kim Carter, www.timeforchangefoundation.org. Phone number 951-217-0971. Reach out. Be a part of the solution. Thank you for having me again.
Right.
See you at the circle.
In the circle, I'm gonna give you the address because he might not be able to see it. It's 1721 Broadway Street, room 201, Oakland, California, and that's called the Oak Stop. That's next Wednesday at 6:30 to 9, the 25th of April. Come out and be part of this program. We need you. We need you. They need you. They need your support coming home from incarceration.
So we got like 1,500 people that just logged in. Thank you so much for showing up today with my brother here. You know,
Yes,
it's all
thank you,
good.
thank you,
He got a
thank
little Facebook Live going. He got his own TV show here. So,
Yeah, we're
hey,
trying to make it
stay
happen.
tuned. That's what you do.
trying to
You
make it
stay
happen.
tuned.
We're
Stay
trying
on
to
my
make it
Facebook. Go on my Instagram. Do all that. Because we got to make the change that's happening. And right now, I'm on fire for change. I don't know about you, but it ain't going down without me saying something.
That's right.
It's going on with me saying something.
That's
So thank you so
right.
very
That's right.
much. And I'll holler at y'all later.